All right. What if we're multiplying or dividing mixed fractions? So, see something like this. We have multiplying and then multiplying. Well, what we have to do first is we have to convert those mixed fractions to improper fractions. So we can't do anything as they are. We have to convert them to improper fractions. And then we can either multiply or divide. And then once it's done, we have to convert back to the mixed fraction if required. So, sometimes they'll say, you can write it as an improper fraction or you can write it as a mixed fraction and it doesn't matter. But, what we're going to do is if it starts as a mixed fraction, when we get done, we're going to put it back in a mixed fraction. Okay. So what we need to do is convert both of these into improper fractions. So we'll take 4 times 3, that's 12, plus 3 over 4. So that's going to be 15 over 4. And then we're multiplying that by 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 all over 5. Well, 10 plus 2 is 12 over 5. Okay, so let's go ahead and write that up here because guess what? We can cancel, it looks like, on some pieces. Remember, we want to cancel before we multiply. Otherwise, if we take 15 times 12 divided by 4 times 5, then we're going to have to do a lot of work along the way. But if we see this, 4 will go in here once, 4 will go in here 3 times, 5 will go in here once, 5 will go in here 3 times. Well, guess what? 3 times 3, that's just 9. And so basically, that was so well done, we don't even have to convert to a fraction because that is our value. Okay. What about the second one here? All right, so here we have 14 times 1 is 14 plus 1, so that's 15 over 14. Okay. And we're going to multiply that by, now this is going to end up being a negative in the numerator. So we'll have 5 times 4, that's 20, plus 4 is 24. And again, it's a negative, and that's all over 5. So now guess what? It looks like we can cancel some more. Well, again, 5 goes in here once, that goes in here 3 times. So, we did that already. Now 2 will go in here 7 times. 2 will go in here and it's still going to leave us with a negative 12. Okay. Now, can we do anything? Well, 3 times negative 12 is negative 36. 7 times 1 is 7. Now we have an improper fraction. So guess what? We get to do a division now. Okay, well, we take 7 into 36. Now we're not worried about that negative sign now. We know our final answer when we get done is going to be negative something. Well, 7 times what? Well, 7 times 5 is 35. So that looks like a good number to start with. So if we subtract there, then that's 1. That's our remainder. And so it looks like it's going to be 5 and then 1/7. So 5 and 1/7. And again, it's negative because our original problem was a negative times a positive. So we know the answer is negative. And so now we just have to finish and get that. Okay. All right, so that would be our answer. So we had a nice one of 9 and a nice one that we had to do a little bit more work on, but it still wasn't too bad. Okay. All right, let's do some more. All right, well, before we even start on this one, we have a negative times a negative. So what do we know about that? Well, that's going to be a positive. So we don't have a sign left. So we're done there. Now we can take 2 times 4 and we get 8 plus 1 is 9 over 2. And then we have, if we want to, we can put our parentheses. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 4 is 24 over 5. Now guess what? We can go ahead and reduce. 2 will go in here once. 2 will go in here 12 times. Now 5 doesn't go into either one of those, so guess what? We have to do some multiplication now. So we're going to take 9 times 12. Okay, 12 times 9. That's going to be 18, carry 1. That's going to be 9 plus 1 is 10, 108. So on the numerator, it looks like we have 108, and then denominator, 1 times 5 is 5. Okay. Now again, if we're going to mix fractions, what do we got to do? Well, we have to divide. So we'll go 5 into 108. So 5 goes into 10 twice. That's 10. Subtract, we get 0. Bring down our 8. 5 goes into 8 once. That's 5. Subtract, we get 3. That's our remainder. So now we get 21 and 3/5. Then that would be our mixed fraction. Now, if they wanted it as an improper fraction, we're done there. But if they want it as the mixed fraction, then we have to go and continue on and get that there. All right. So what about the next one? Here we have a positive times a negative. So what do we know about that? Well, we know our final answer then is going to be negative. So we know the final answer is negative. Now we have 13 times 1 is 13 plus 2. That's 15 over 13. And then we have a negative. Now we have 3 times 4 is 12. 13, 14 over 3. Okay. Well, it doesn't look like there's a lot we can do, but we can cancel that 3 and cancel 3 out of here and have 5. And then that's as far as we can go. Now we have to take 5 times 14. So maybe we'll do it down here. 14 times 5. That's going to be 20. And that's going to give us a 7. So it looks like that's a negative 70 over 13. All right, now what do we do? Well, we take 13 and we go into 70. And again, I know the final answer is negative, so at this point, when you're doing a division, you don't worry about a negative sign. So now 13 times what? Well, 13 times, oh, I don't know, let's see. 13 times 4, that's 12. That's 52. Well, how about 13 times 5? That's 15, carry 1, that's a 6. All right, so it looks like 5 will work, and that's 65. Subtract, that's 5. That's my remainder. So I have a negative 5, and then I have 5/13. And then that would be my answer. Again, making that a negative value there. Okay. What about the next one? Oh, that's next page is blank, so we'll stop there and we'll come back in a little bit.